I see there's someone. I didn't say that I was going to come through, but I thought since it's cold, it's raining, and I'm having my tea, let me come and share this with you. By the way, stand ageko, so yeah, I might as well keep myself busy with you guys. So come through. Let me share with you my story and why I keep saying that all blood-related diseases. I don't care if it's low blood, high blood, diabetes, HIV, yeah, you name them. All of those, any disease, any form of disease is spiritual. So I want to share with you my endometriosis, my journey with endometriosis. How I healed myself, how I healed my womb, and I still have my womb intact, healthy for that matter. After I was told, I must take it out because, yeah, it's damaged. And I was even shown pictures, hey, yeah, of how my womb looked, how a healthy womb looked, and how a mine looked, and that I had to take it out. And that was the start of my journey, healing my own womb. So asikhulumi izinto esizicabanga esizizwe ngabantu ukuthi today and whatever. Some of us those type of healers by nature, through experiences, and then we got to learn certain things, and we also were able to heal certain things naturally. So as a result, we are here sharing this information with you. So if you know anybody who's got that problem of endometriosis or having cysts, please take them. And while at it, send me some love so that I can see if there's people here somehow. So it was 2010. Okay, let me just start with my periods. I started having my periods when I was doing matric, and not matric, grade 11. And I was 16 to be 17. And then, yay, I've never felt so much pain in my life. Never, ever, ever felt. And I remember very well, I didn't sleep, I didn't go to school. And yay, everything that they tried at home to give me, it just didn't work at all. It just did not work. And obviously then later, some lady, my mother's pastor, who is a prophet, umam prophet, you know, those ones that have a pig. She came, and then she came with some concoction that she made for me, and then she gave it to me, and then she said I must drink it. I remember very well that from that I could smell spirit, I could smell J's fluid. I don't know what else was there, but all I know is that there was some concussion, and then I drank it. Few minutes later, I was sleeping. I fell asleep, and I don't know how long I slept, but when I slept, I felt like going to the loo, you know, to the toilet. And to my shock, when I got there, my underwears were brown, not red, brown. As if something like some, inhlabathi ethile unudaga. That is how that's when I realized, no, I'm getting my periods. And it was the first time. And I was worried, Pella, because all people of my age were having their periods already. My cousin got her first period when she was 10. And then, and then other people, I was a late person. I was very late. As I'm saying, I was a 16 to be 17. All I know that I don't remember the month, but I was doing grade 11. So anyway, fast forward. So after then, that is when then I started realizing that I told my mother, you know, you know, and then she was laughing, you know, and saying, but really, uyigwala. So ngazi I mean from ebusuku uqhawula laphana screaming because guys, yay, I've never had any sort of pain the way that I had in my womb. At that time, I didn't even know it was a womb. I was just thinking, which is my stomach, but at the bottom. And then obviously, they tried rubbing me and all of these different things. Everything was coming back, but the pain was just getting worse. Anyway, from that time, my periods were just the same thing, similar thing, experience, painful. And fortunately for me, because I can take pain, I did not become one of those people that will just skip school. I will still go to school, but when I come back, I would sleep. The first day, it was just a mess. Anyway, and that time, I will go as long as 7 days, at times almost 10 days on my periods. So yeah, then my mother kept telling me that, don't worry, when you have your first child, azophela, this happens with everyone, especially when they are starting. And another thing is because you are old, at the age that you are in, it's already late. So that is why probably you are feeling all these pains. But definitely when you have your first child, then the periods will go. Unfortunately, that did not happen. I had my first child at 21. And yeah, even the birth was the most painful thing I've ever had. Anyway, then fast forward, I got married in 2009. All this time, it had become a norm. Actually, what I then decided after having my first child was that I'm going to use contraceptives and I'm going to use Idepo so that I don't get the periods, because I don't want to go through this experience ever in my life. So I was using contraceptives for that, since 2001, 2000 to about 2008. And then when I was in 2008, that is when I like my lobola things were finalized, and already the time we had agreed, we should also try for a baby, because he also was wanting the experience. And that's when I stopped taking my contraceptives. Guys, the pain was worse. The pain was worse. Now, that was 2008. 2009, it got worse. At some stage, I was getting off. I think I was admitted 2009, 2010, worst part. That's when I was diagnosed in 2010. But 2009, I was on and off like every second month. Hospitalized at night, or kept overnight because there's issues. So eventually, my boss, then I was working at FNP Trust Services that time, and then, my boss said to me, I don't know how to do this, Cicely. Actually, I've just accepted your invite. I don't know how to do it. I honestly don't know how it works, my love. Let me just accept with audio only. Okay, all right. Let me add you. Let's see what is this thing. Anyway, that is when then my then no, something is not right, Portia. You cannot be in hospital, be sick, and it was worse than early 2010. And then she said to me, no, this thing is not right. I think then what you must do, you must rather go and see this specialist, because she knew already that we were trying for a baby and all of that. And then they kept asking, "But how are things going?" And because I'm very open, guys, Mina, I pereza very, like you see now. So they already knew which I was trying for a baby, and we are having challenges and so forth. That time I'm in and out at the kind at the what's this Dr. Thomas in what is this Locuzan Union Hospital? Is it Union or was it Brent Test? I know it's not Brent Test. Union Hospital or Clinton? I don't remember now. No, she was in Clinton. Yeah, Dr. Thomas was in Clinton Hospital in Alberton. So I'm attending him, And then he told me, no, you actually have a problem of hormonal imbalance. And then what we're going to do, we're going to put you on contraceptives again. But this time around, you must not drink them every day. You must drink them maybe once after 2 days again, and a different drink them at different times. We are trying to use these contraceptive pills to bring your hormones back into balance, because that's what is causing you to not be able to conceive. We did that, guys, for 2 years. So that was 2008 until 2010. That is when my manager then said to me, no, go and see this specialist, fertility specialist, and then, yeah, go and see him, because this thing of yours, every month now it's getting worse. I was already working with her for almost 2 years, and she said, it's already getting worse, this thing of yours. Go and have it checked it out, because I myself, I had to have my womb taken out after experiencing the very same things that you're experiencing: headaches, those that painful abdomen, and sometimes you can't even walk properly, and you've got these. When I go get to hospital, I'm always diagnosed with bladder infection, and then I'll be given a douche. Yeah, they call it a douche for me to insert and clean my. Hey, guys, yeah, we've been around. Anyway, and she told me, good, you must make sure, because this doctor is very busy, and that this is Dr. Kasim at Brenthurst Clinic. He's a fertility specialist. I believe he's one of the top 3 in the country that are, they are best specialists when it comes to fertility. And she told me that there's a waiting period, and unfortunately, she knows very well that this doctor is very good. So I must make sure that at least when I call the offices, I must act as if I'm dying today. Guys, me, I'm a good actor. Actually, I must look for roles. I must start looking for roles in acting, because I could act. I acted the part at that time, and they believed that I was dying. So that I could get an earlier appointment. They did tell me that they've got a 3 months waiting period, and that time it was around March. They told me that they've got a 3 months waiting period, and I told them, as I'm talking to them, I can't even breathe properly, and I have not been to work for a week, and I was lying. Anyway, they said I must come, and I must bring my husband with, and then they will check first if they will let me know, and they'll put my name on a what is that list? Not an emergency list. There's a list, for people if there's an for if there's a cancellation or something, then they'll put me on that list. Fortunately, it was 2 days later. I was called, come through. I went. When I went, we went there with my husband. Then the doctor said we first start by, he was working with the wife at the time, and then she was then doing the physical, the psychological part. You start from her, and then you go to him, and then he does the scientific part and checks and whatever. So then the lady then was asking us questions, is this your first child? Is this your first child? And then both of us, me and my husband, was there anyone at home who died from cancer? Who's got diabetes? Who's got high blood pressure? All those things. And then they also checked my blood pressure, and then she explained then that no, with you, because you already have a child, then you are not on stage 1, because they will it's infertility, it's whatever the second one, can't remember what is it called, but yeah, that thing, that meaning that is secondary. Yes, secondary infertility, because I've had a baby. So now then it means that it's not, the treatment won't be the same as the one that it's a primary one. Anyway, then we got to Dr. Kasim's offices, and then he's busy and inserts this camera inside of me, and then he says, no, don't worry, there's a Xhosa lady there who's also speaking the language, so that we understand. So the doctor is busy talking, and then he's showing this lady, and they're busy like, you see, but they're talking in sign language. These people, like, they are not telling, like, they're not speaking, but I could tell, it looks like there's a problem, a serious problem here. Then this lady is busy comforting me, don't worry, sis, I think doctors will sort her out. Doctors will sort her out. Then it was time for us to come and go and discuss what was the problem. Then when I get there, then the doctor tells me, we found a couple of issues with you. One, we found your womb is introverted. And I'm like, introverted? What is that? He says your womb is facing down. And I'm like, what? He says, yeah, that's the first thing. So we need to get you onto theater and establish why is your womb introverted, facing back, yeah, something like that. But it's faking, it's opposite, it's upside down, bottom line. Secondly, your lining, your entire lining of your womb has got wall like sore, like ilonda, yeah, sores. And then he says those, we call them cysts. So all of those, the entire lining. So, and that is very, very, it's something very strange. But what we'll then have to do, we'll need to get you onto theater so that we establish why is your womb introverted, and we're also gonna do and take some tissues and go and test your tubes and test your womb and test whatever and whatever. So definitely you're gonna have to get onto theater. And I'm like, yeah, man, introverted, yeah, man. And I'm thinking maybe because somebody CPs, you know, we love things. Maybe it's even the positions that we want us. But he said then we need to establish what is that. But the other things like the wire lining of the womb, then it's fine because we'll just do laparoscopy and clear that, because those I know already cysts. And then we're gonna see what is it. So the operation is gonna take, it's gonna just be a day. So you just got to make sure that you get the your medical aid to approve. I said at the corner lapha kadokotela ngakaphumi nokuphuma ngathi angiphumi vele ngakatholi date medical aid. Angisho I told you I'm a good act. I acted again for the medical aid, bank med, because I was working for FNB, so we are on the bank med. Phoned them, abatshela ukuthi udoctor ngiyafa, and I met a specialist. They're telling me that I've got to get an operation as in yesterday. And then he told me the type of operation that I need, and then the laparoscopy, yeah, that's what they're going to do. And then they approved. I left the doctor's offices now with an appointment on the 11th of April 2010, where now you will be in theater. Then you must come a day, you must not eat from 6 the previous night, and then you must, first thing in the morning, you must not eat until 3, and then after work you must come. We will sizokulalisa. I'm lying. I must come in, they must not eat, come the following morning in the morning, and then they will sort me out. I very guys, that's what happened. As early as 6 a.m. we're at the doctor's at hospital. Then they dressed me, they checked whatever, and then boom, theater. They did whatever they did. Obviously, I was unconscious. Yeah, it was one of those operations, and then they did whatever they did. Then all I know is that I woke up around 4 p.m. and my husband was telling me that he was getting worried, and everybody was getting worried that I'm not coming back. But actually, I came back around that time. Anyway, then I came back, the doctor was doing his rounds, because now they were even saying they are worried to go to doctor uzohamba uzoshayisa ngo-6 angakhonanga ukukhuluma nami, yabona angakhonanga nokungicheck. So fortunately I woke up around that time. The doctor bekazoza ngo-6 to do his rounds. And anyway, after the doctor did his rounds, he came to me, and then he asked me, how are the pains? He tells me, no, I must first come in his office first thing in the morning, and then so that we can discuss. They're just gonna keep me overnight, as he had said, we Monday. So keep me overnight, then must come to his offices tomorrow, and then so that we can discuss the findings. Okay. Then he tells the ladies, please give a double dosage of what. And there were 6 of us in the ward, and all of us, apparently we had that similar operation. And I'm asking myself, with double dosage. And I asked this lady, sister, can't mean why double dosage? Then when your case was different, so it had to get more things. Then it's fine. Fast forward to actually they were even surprised in the ward, even the sisters, I can still walk properly in the toilet, like I was walking like properly. And then they were asking me if I'm not feeling any pains or whatsoever, and I'm like, no, I'm not feeling any pain. and I'm okay. So they were surprised. That's when I asked, can't mina ngenziwe? Yabo, yini le ngenziwe yenza ukuthi fanele ngithole double dosage of pain and whatever, painkillers, and bang take a good care, you know? And then the sister said, no, don't worry, Stella Sam. When as long as we're okay, the doctor will explain everything tomorrow. Anyway, we went in the morning to the doctor's offices, and when we get there, the doctor tells me, we've got good news and bad news. Yeah, but the bad news is that when you've got what is called a condition that is called endometriosis, and you are actually on stage 2. Actually, you were so close to stage 3 of that, and that would have meant we had to take out the womb. Hey, heaven. Anyway, he tells me that's the first thing. The second thing that they also checked, they wanted to see what is causing, or they also found out I had a bleeding cyst that was bleeding on my left ovary, which is what was causing now the womb to be introverted. They are introverted womb. It is because now of the bleeding cyst that was bleeding inside of the ovary. Fortunately, we have tested both ovaries are fine. There's nothing wrong with the ovaries. It was you came just in time. There is nobody that I've known who is as fortunate as you, because at the way that your condition was like, we were supposed to be doing hysterectomy. Hey, and I'm like, Batung. And he then starts asking me, Guti, where you maybe, or the other thing, the third thing is that what he also discovered was that with this condition, what they also realized was that the passage, cervical, whatever, the one that opens when you are giving birth, he says it was not elastic enough. So because it was not elastic enough, when I get my periods, instead of all the blood coming out, the blood goes up. Hey, guys, and it creates whatever. That is why my womb, inside out, everywhere, it had these cysts. It had these cysts. My womb had these cysts, and it says your endometrium lining was actually damaged. So fortunately, we have done 2 procedures with you. We've done hysteroscopy. Hysteroscopy, that is when they enter the womb now and do that lasering, like reconstructing the womb and whatever that they were doing. That is why they were saying I must get double dosage, because then they discovered that my problem is both inside and outside. And then the doctor asked, how were your periods? How were your first periods? And I'm telling him, yeah, I nearly died. And he asked me, how was your giving birth of the first child? I tell him, yeah, I nearly died. And he's like, okay. And then he says to me, were you by any chance maybe sexually abused or raped or anything like that? And I'm like, I know, doctor, I wasn't. He says, okay, because there is the way that lining, the way it is so rigid, that happens when somebody was exposed to sexual trauma. So then they squeeze their womb. It's like they tighten the muscle so tight they don't want to let go. So the body just stores that energy there. Then it makes it difficult for you to have normal periods. That is why you have the pain. That is why you will also have this difficult birth. And I'm like, yes, and then he says to me, fortunately, the good news is that, there's still the bad news is that there is no known scientific reason that tells you what causes this hormonal imbalance. They don't know. All they know is that majority of the women are having the same problem. They don't know what is causing it, because everybody's condition is different. But that's what they know. And then obviously this means that I will have carry this pain for the rest of my life, because there's no cure. Hey, there's no cure. And I'm thinking, but there's no cure for it. So this is one thing that you will experience the rest of your life. And I'm like, hey, anyway, what are the good news, doctor? The good news is that we've done the test where now you are fertile enough to be able to conceive. The only thing is that you should be try and conceive as soon as possible. After after 6 weeks, because you should take about 6 weeks, the maximum for you to get well. After that, you must try and conceive the baby as soon as possible, because with endometriosis, it does come back. Even the cysts, they come back after 9 months, meaning that if you are not pregnant at that time, you are at the risk of them coming back, and they might come back in multiples. Worse than before. So it will be good. You must conceive, try and conceive. And then if you're looking for a baby, you must also, if you are looking for more than one child, after the other, then you must also conceive again. So that, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to take out that womb, because then it shows me the healthy womb. This is how the healthy womb looks like. This is how your womb looks like. Guys, I left the doctor's offices happy that at least I will be able to conceive, and it will take me 6 months, 6 weeks, and then we'll see after that. But then this thing of me taking out the womb, I started thinking, I want this. And I mean, really. And I know of this friend of mine who took out the womb, and I was nursing her. We had issues and in complications. We always try and put our stories with, we look at other people's stories, and we think we're going to have the same experience. And unfortunately, then the doctor said, before we left, he said, you should be able to conceive. And if it happens that you must come back in 3 months, 3 months, you must come back. And if you had not conceived, then what will then do? None of 3 months. Timo, it was April, May, June, July, August, September. Yes, the appointment that we made was for September. He said, you must come back after 3 months. They'll give me an appointment. If I had not conceived the time, they will have to look at other options to help me to conceive, because my womb is fine. They've tested his sperms, and they've given him whatever to boost the head. They did it with the sperm counts. Okay, then we left. And I was sitting and thinking, but what is this thing that I got to take out the womb now? And what is all of this? And the doctor said to us, one thing that we need to know, if we know who God is, then we must understand, we must go and pray and ask for answers around these situations, because as he says, they don't have a scientific reasons as to what causes these hormonal imbalances. Guys, fast forward, I was able to conceive. Mina mangiyaga doctor for my husband's birthday is in July. I didn't tell him I haven't had my periods, and I just went to have myself tested, and then it tested positive. And then I took the this test, this pregnancy test. I put it in a nice box, and I wrapped it nicely for his birthday as a gift. And then when we opened, he saw that we were pregnant, and obviously excited and all of that. So by the time we went to see the doctor in September, I was already pregnant. Out of the 6 ladies, I was the 3rd person that fell pregnant after having those operations. The other ladies were having issues. They needed more intervention. Now, ever since that time, I had been on this quest now of trying to find ways. 1, understanding what is this thing that is causing all of this. 2, and how can I heal my own womb without me having to take it out? Because honestly, if science can't explain it, then this tells me this thing is spiritual. If science cannot have a cure, this thing is spiritual. It's got to do with the spirit aspect more than anything else. So I got onto that quest of wanting to know. And what did I then discover all along the way? I'm not going to story. So what I had discovered, hormonal balance happens as a result of you not being grounded properly in your own home. First, in your home as in this body, and secondly, in your home as in your mother's side of the family. If you are not properly grounded, if there's issues there, what that connects to your izinto zenhlabathi that connects to your lineage, you not being grounded properly, then you will have a hormonal imbalance. That is why it is called hormonal imbalance. It is an imbalance in your home space. That is why then you've got to check when you have hormonal imbalance, what is happening at your own home front? What is happening? What is happening around your own family, starting with yourself? No, sorry. Hello? Please, I'm busy. Okay. So, Angisho manje, I had to sit and at the door because these kids, they love disturbing me. Anyway, so that's the first thing that I got to understand. With the minute they say hormonal imbalance, this you must just know that there's an imbalance in your home front, at your own home front. Now, with everybody's that they push the proper grounding, or the most auspicious or the most critical aspect is the side of the mother, because the mother is actually that gives the life force. The maternal side of the family is the one that gives a life, and that it is the one that grounds the child properly, and so forth. So because the identity of a mother, it is the one thing that is known for sure versus V of a father. What do I mean by that? The mother, as long as the mother was pregnant, we are definitely sure that this is your mother. If your mother was pregnant and gave birth to you. Unlike if the mother can lie and say, this is your father, whereas it's somebody else. Maybe she was dating two people, she was pregnant, she was raped, she was involved with the family member, and then they will hide this thing, and then they will say it's this somebody else. Other than those many other issues, then the identity of a father, it is not well known. It cannot be confirmed until it's the blood test done, because the woman can decide who becomes the father of the child, just like that. So the side of your maternal side of the family, that is the one thing that is solid. That connection, it is solid. As long as you are not adopted, as long as you are the child, you are part of that family, your mother is pregnant, then it is the one certainty that we know which you are grounded, you are that person's, you belong to that side of the family. So what does it mean in my case? What did it mean on my case that what was causing the imbalance? Number one, apparently Mina was taken away from my mother when I was 11 months. And I'm saying I was taken away because I never went back. Whereas Mina, I'm the second child, and there's 3 more kids after me. So I was taken away from my mother, and then I had to, I grew up in the family that my family adopted me. Like, I'm saying it adopted me because I also took on their surname. So that is the first imbalance, the hormonal imbalance, because then there was a disconnection between me and my mother. And I also didn't know, I was carrying this wound, which I always, when I talk about these interrupted bonds, I'm not talking from the head, guys, from what I've read and whatever. It is experiences that one, and things that I've seen with other people as well, and confirmed in different ways. So because of this interrupted bond with my mother, and apparently the way it happened, it was not not consensual. It's not like she, in as much as she agreed, but she was not happy for it to happen. But it's like she had no choice, type of a situation. She had no choice, but it had to happen that way. So as a result, there's a cry from my mother, and there's a cry from me for my mother. You see, those bleeding cysts, that bleeding cyst that was bleeding inside of an ovary, it is me crying to be returned back to my mother's side, to my mother. It is a cry, because this cyst looked like a sack. You see, if a kettle boils, and then when you're bent by the water, and it creates that that wound that has got water inside. That is how cysts look. So it is sort of a cry in your body. Yeah, it is a cry. So that was happening with me, the both of us. Hence the cysts, both in the ovary and both in and around. So Mina, this thing was twofold in my case. Fast forward, when I got married, this issue came back now. That is when I started having serious womb issues. Then when this time I was getting married, because now angisho manje makuzoshadwa kuthiwa sizofuna ukwazi ikhalo ulala ikhaya libiza kanganani. Ukhalo, we are talking about the womb that carried the child. That is why the mother will be given a specific cow, which is more expensive than any other cows, zamalobolo, because that womb, it's honoring the womb that brought you to this life. So mina, my own womb, this process, it happened in a different place, and I know for sure that my mother was not happy about that. And as much as it's something mina, I then said, you cannot come now when I'm 26 years old and then start want to fight when you left me here all this time. And all this time, guys, I always knew who my mother was. She will come because she's family, Musiabon. So it's not like something which I grew up outside of family. I've always been inside the family, but I was not under her care. I was not under her love, whereas everybody else was there besides me. Anyway, that is when I started having these issues. When then they came up now, why was they were happening? It is because I was also starting now and building a home through marriage. So because of me building a home, then your body remembers the stored energy that is within you, that is sitting in you, that needed to be transmuted. Yeah, then that's how then I had this issue that led me to being diagnosed with endometriosis stage 2, you know. And then the third thing is that I also learned to go to my own grandmother, my own grandmother, who is my mother's mother. She also, when her mother gave birth, she the grandmother passed away. So then the grandmother was raised at another home, but within, because so by the other woman, to us, who that is the one that raised my grandmother, great grandmother, my great grandmother, who raised my grandmother. So my grandmother grew up not knowing her mother. She was also not in that family. Now, endometriosis, guys, it's the cells in your body. They form what is like a protection. It is what forms a protection, and it was around your womb and prepares you to give birth, and for your womb to be able to carry a child, like to bring a child forth. Now, the reason the cells now were working against me, the cells were growing outside of my womb instead of inside. These healthy cells that are going to be are nurturing. 2, the very same lining that is supposed to be a protector, those cells that are sitting outside that are now acidic, they were eating, they were eating, like it's like you are eating your own food. What was then happening even with me? I grew up as a child who was most very resentful of myself. I did not like myself. I did not love myself. At the age of 4, I was sexually abused. I was not penetrated, but this man was playing with me, like, we are saying, with the Vaseline, trying to penetrate, but that's that, all of those things. Anyway, that is what had happened. So now, what then, which was another trauma. You see, now it's trauma over the trauma. Now, what then happened was that because of me being sexually abused, I then told my body that I want nothing to do with me mothering. That's what I did. That's what I told my body through the recurring reminders of the different things that I experienced. So as a result, I then created this energy. It is this energy that is not passing through because of me holding on so much to my body, that is making this journey, this energy transmutation transmutation to happen effortless. So as a result, I grew up not loving myself. I grew up blaming myself a lot. So I was one of those people abazifaka induku. In as when I'm supposed to come and say, you know, you did well, you went and did the live, 5 people were there, I will sit in myself, but you know, but you could have done better if you did it earlier. If you told people, you know, I will beat myself up. As a result, I became my own worst enemy. So while I was not only fighting, on top of me fighting other people's battles, I was also fighting myself. Hence, now my body was fighting against me instead of working with me. As I then started my journey of my own healing these aspects of myself and how I see myself, how I look at myself, how I then engage with my body and starting to engage with this body, because I did not even want to be touched, because the way that men touched me, it made me feel a certain way. So even when I'm in relationships, when somebody starts to touch me, it takes me back. So I'm putting more trauma into this body. So when I'm supposed to use the time of my periods where I'm most fertile, where I can, when the universe gives me an opportunity to transmute this energy that I'm carrying, mina punish. So that is what was happening. That is, but the minute then I started working on myself, I learned the womb wisdom. I learned the techniques of how to speak to my womb, how to get answers from my womb, how to heal my womb on its own. Guys, the last time Mina had pro-period pains, it was before I got this child. After the time, the pain that I had was the pain of me after giving birth, because it was a cesarean. After that was the only pain. After that, I consciously took a decision that I'm going to work on this. That is when, on my own journey, and with me, it was interesting because this journey started with me wanting to fix my relationship with money, because I see, in as much as I'm working in the bank, I'm at senior level, but I never seem to have enough money. You know, my money is never enough. I'm never satisfied at work. You know, there's something lacking. That is when one of the a workshop that I attended that time, then they were asked us to do an exercise where you had to think of a vivid memory of when the first time you held money. That is when I was taken back to this man, because I had buried those memories deep down inside of me. So I was not even remembering these things. So as a result, in that session, that is when the memory was brought back, and I could even remember how he smelled, how the shack looked, and how what I was dressed, how I felt, everything in the session talking about mine. That is why I know for sure that if you have issues with your blood related, you will also have issues with your mind. Because these things are connected. The same relationship that money has with you, it is the same relationship that you have with your mother. So that is how then I then started, as I engaged with that aspect of my life, trying to fix my relationship with money. With why is money never enough? I mean, I've moved from this job to this job to this job, taking my pensions, paying off this, but again I find myself in the very same back again in another debt. And like when I got married, I was drowning in debts, guys, drowning. So as I engaged and I went on to this journey, I started remembering these things. I started getting how to work with my body. I started understanding my periods, because now I started getting the periods. I started, fully. And I've never, ever to date had issues with my womb. And many other things that came up, even now, there's other issues that still come up, because these things, they are generational. I've talked about being spiritually indebted. I've spoken about being entangled in the quantum space. Guys, that is not a theory. That is a reality. Some of these things that you are experiencing, that is why they will ask you, when you go for your medical checks or you are sick, they will ask you for your family history, because these things, they get passed from one generation to another. So now that I've been working on my mother's side of the family, and that cycle is being finished, now I've started in the cycle yangapha yakubuka baba. Anyway, that is what I wanted to share with you. But if you are having endometriosis, if you are suffering from endometriosis, you have got to go and look at your maternal side of the family. What is happening there? What are your issues there? What is your relationship with your own mother? What is your relationship with your mother, with her mother, with your grandmother, with her own mother? And what is nice is that there's ways to heal these things. But the first thing, you've got awareness, you being aware of what it is that needs to be done. What is it that is a problem? Because once you get to the source, that's where you heal from, instead of healing the symptoms and the next day it comes back at something else. What is why today, now I'm able to come and share these things with you and tell you, when you've got endometriosis, if you have been diagnosed and they are telling you, you don't accept sitting and with that pain and then wanting to take the pills. I'm not taking any pill whatsoever. Ever. I don't take pills. And when I tell this, even for the headache, because I've learned how to engage with my body, how spirit also speaks to me, how the very same ancestors that I never acknowledged, I never understood, I thought I demonized, how they engage with me, how they come and speak with me through my own body, without me having to go to using your twasa, like the conventional way, because initiation has been happening in my life throughout. It happens throughout, and it is, everybody has got their own journey. That is all that I wanted to share. And the best thing is on invite. Good guys, if you have blood related issues, don't allow money to be an escape. No, if only I had the money, if only I can make more money, I will go and things will be better, because they will not be better. As long as you are carrying these things and you are not healing from the source, what these things are coming to tell you, and what you are being told to, and how to do them, you will still have problems. You will suffer with the medical bills, because now you will have one disease after the other. Your medical aid will get exhausted. And you'll pass the very same thing to your children, because that's what we also do. If you even have a girl child, it's even worse. I protected myself, because I did not want to multiply myself. I then decided to have boy children. But that I decided to have boy children because I had to also heal my masculine, because that is where I was deeply wounded. So when we say these things, that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and we are here to come and fix certain things, we are here to do something that is of greater being, greater deed for humanity and for others, and those that are going to come, we mean it, guys. You are not just here for pleasure and fun and games. You are also you've come here to help heal certain things for your own lineage, and that you're going to do through your own body, and they will speak to you through your own body. So I'm inviting you, if you have period pains, join us Sunday. Join us. We are having a class on Sunday morning, and then even if you are not able to join the class, there will be a recording. If you know somebody who's got issues, blood-related issues, worst part of it, they are suffering from period pains, or even if it's their children, tell them that they can make contact with me, and then let them join us. And then when you can come for your own consultation, so that we establish where is yours coming from, and what are the things that you are called to do, and most importantly, how to do them. I don't see any comments. I don't see any love. Yay. Angazi mina kwenzakalani, but anyway, I see that there's people here. Thank you so much. I see there's a heart that just came through. I am going to leave you and love you and leave you here. And if you really want to encourage me to give you more of these things, because I still want to even share this, my own spiritual journey, why I'm even able to do, I'm even able to diagnose you and even give you the solutions, and how when all of you that are looking at me, there's nothing, I'm no different, you are no different than me, I'm no different from you. You are also capable of doing the things that I'm doing and more. You just need to open yourself up. So yeah, if you want really me to engage, tell you, share more of these things with you, please carry on, support me, send the stars whenever I'm live, send the stars, as many as you can. I see Usli has sent 99 stars. Thank you so much, Sli. And everybody else, send me those stars, and then I'll keep on whenever. Maybe I will go and warm this tea because now it's cold, and then I'll carry on having my tea. Have yourself a wonderful evening further. And if you've got any questions and you want any clarity, feel free to connect with me. But from me to you today, thank you so much love. Bye-bye.